In the winter months, fresh air is just as important to your animals as is fresh water. And a tendency to bring in your livestock from the cold, well, it's natural, but most livestock will do fine having a three-sided shed. Now, the idea being keeping them dry with a supply of fresh air is better than having them cooped up in a barn, which can become damp and odorous over the course of the winter. Well, Kevin Guldin of Oley Valley Feed is going to offer some tips on the winter shelter of your livestock. So everyone, this is Kevin Guldin of Oley Valley Feed. He's had Oley Valley Feed since '02.
'02.
But
yep.
You've been in and around livestock since...
My whole life.
Yeah.
And I started working here in 1985, actually.
Great.
After I graduated college.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about winter shelter.
Okay.
For your animals. How important it is to get your animals in from the cold?
Well as we talk about feed and forages and those kind of things, and the caloric needs of the animals when they, when winter is here.
Yeah.
You know, what makes a drastic difference on that caloric need is the wind whipping at them? Are they wet? So then we talk about shelters and what we should do for shelters for animals.
Okay.
In winter situations.
Okay.
Generally speaking, we need air exchange. We can't have a damp, wet environment because when they breathe in the damp, wet air, it's a start of a good spot to start pneumonia.
Sure.
So we want something that's basically dry,
that
has clean air, fresh air, no ammonia smell, those kind of things, to keep them healthy.
Right.
But yet we want them to be protected from a whipping cold breeze that won't wick out the heat out of their bodies.
Sure, sure.
So basically, most times what we're concerned with in the wintertime is a windbreak.
Okay.
That can go from a shelter like we have here, a run-in shed, that kind of thing, a three-sided shelter.
A run-in shed is a three-sided shelter?
A three-sided shelter.
Okay.
The tractor is in one there that we started off with there.
You ran the tractor in there?
Yeah, it holds the tractor too as well as animals. So it's getting worked on right now, but that's the typical run-in shed. So that's a three-sided shelter. Generally speaking, the back of it faces the northeast.
Okay.
And the front faces, the back faces the northwest.
Okay.
And the front faces the southeast.
Okay, gotcha.
Because our prevailing winds here are from the northeast.
Sure.
And the coldest winds are from there, so.
Sure.
We don't get much from the southeast. So they're going to stay in there.
Okay.
Most times people want to pen them in there. The animals know what they need. If they're cold, they'll go in to get out of the wind, and generally out of rain, they'll go in there like that. So they can come and go as they please, which is nice about the three-sided shelter. Some places out west and some areas you'll see just a wall.
Just for the windbreak?
Yeah, going
sure, from the
northeast to across, and basically they'll stand on this side of it if it's bad, and they'll stand on that side of it sometimes, and basically that windbreak is a lot of times enough for our more hardier species like cattle and some sheep.
Okay.
Horses are generally taken care of a little bit more.
Okay. Okay.
So, you know, breaking the wind is a major thing. We don't have to worry about keeping heat there. We're worried about the water not freezing, those kind of things.
Okay.
But, you know, an animal is most comfortable between 40 and 50 degrees.
Sure, sure.
If it gets higher than that, there actually is a level of heat stress over 50 degrees. So, where we're not really comfortable, they're very comfortable.
Okay.
They wear a fur coat all year long. They're okay.
That's really important to know. Something else to mention too is in the dead of winter, when you have maybe snow and a little bit of melting snow and then freezing temperatures again, maybe snowfall on top, those icy conditions. So when you have something like that, then you should probably consider...
Then when we have severe weather like that, you know, snow isn't really all that bad, but when we have the ice, you're worried about animals falling and splitting and breaking their hips, breaking their legs, just getting lame from a slip or something. No different than us.
Right.
So those kind of conditions you might want to keep them in. Snow is fine. Snow is a great insulator. You see animals outside with snow on their back. They're fine. They're actually warmer with the snow on and off. I know. So, you know, but we got to give them credit. Yeah. No matter what animal we're talking about, we got to give them credit to know when it's too cold or when they're uncomfortable, they will come for shelter. Yeah. Great. So like bears go to a den. No one's controlling them, but they go into shelter. They go in to find it. So, and that goes with chickens too. Chickens need a little bit more heat. We're worried about heat lamps on chickens because they're dried out of the Mediterranean climate. Okay. So they like it a little warmer. Okay. Generally speaking, if they're cold, their production will go down much faster than other animals.
Our egg production is less than half now because of the cold and the lack of the daylight. That's right. Shorter days. But
So,
yeah, you keep an extra heat lamp on them, and
that makes a big difference.
it's a huge difference.
Yep.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
I love coming down to this place.
Thank you.
Now you know. Except in extreme winter conditions, well, your animals are probably fine outside in the winter if you keep them dry and keep them sheltered from the wind. But if you have any questions, come on down to your local feed store where the experts are. They've got all the answers.